What's up, guys? Eli here, back for my back to show my December of 2024 movie haul. As far as like new releases and you know other stuff goes. Yeah, I got a pretty good haul this month, I guess you could say. I got 10 titles to talk about here, so yeah, I've just been still kind of partying for the holidays and having a good time. What can I say? Let's talk about them, huh? First off, I am drinking a. I really like this beer. I've been drinking a lot of it lately. This Elysian, whatever you call it, Space Dust IPA. Kind of always liked it, but lately I'm liking it more than I ever did. Drinking it out of my awesome Gremlins mug. Might have to pause to reload here in a little bit. Let's get talking about movies. This month, interesting haul, I gotta say, for me. It's a bit out of the ordinary. What does that mean? I'm not really sure. I have a lot of Arrow video titles. I got some Criterion stuff. Only a couple of new releases, I guess you could say, which I'll start with. Honestly, I'm just going to start with this. Obviously, not a new release, but this is a movie I've been wanting to own for a long time. Kind of weird that I haven't owned it up until now. This is an older movie. I haven't seen it I probably haven't seen this in fucking like 30 years. But I loved it back then, and I absolutely can't wait to rewatch it. So we're talking about Raising Arizona. This is some kind of weird foreign version where it's got, I guess, where it's got this is Arizona Junior. I bought this at a, this kind of like media store that we have where I live, where they sometimes will get like foreign versions of movies, they're fine to watch. Sometimes they're like all the text on the back will be in like Spanish or something like that. This one is in English. I don't know. I'm not sure what's up with this pressing, but anyways, so after I watched and reviewed Fargo the other day, or a couple weeks ago or whatever, I said to myself, "Goddamn, Eli, goddamn, you have not been watching a lot of Coen Brothers films lately." I gotta say, I've seen Fargo a number of times, and I think that last time I watched it, I think I liked it the most that I ever have, ever. It kind of blew my mind. So, I said, you need to get the rest of the Coen Brothers films, and you need to rewatch all of them. Maybe you don't like them all, I'm not sure. I'll be honest, I haven't paid attention to the Coen Brothers in probably at least the last decade. So anything they've done post, honestly, more than a decade, because I don't think I've seen anything they've done post Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Not that I can remember off the top of my head. So I want to go through a Coen Brothers, I don't know if I call it a marathon, but I want to go through their stuff. And I'm going to start, after Fargo, I'm going to start with, or continue with Raising Arizona. Yeah, just a classic, wacky, very original comedy. I don't know what else you'd call it, but this came out back, I think when I was a little kid, 1987. Yeah, I was 5 years old. Anyways, can't wait to rewatch it. Can't wait to go through the Coen Brothers stuff again because, man, love them or not, they really are amazing filmmakers. Then I've got Hellboy, The Crooked Man. A lot of controversy with this one, as the last couple of Hellboy films have brought. And there's, with good reason, I guess. But I don't know, I've just been kind of annoyed with the Hellboy detractors that kind of started with the last film. Obviously there was a lot, that last film with David Harbour, there was a lot of trouble with the making of that film, and it was, almost to the point where it was just laughable and sad. Funny and sad at the same time. But it's just like people wanted to shit on the film, and really the legacy of all the Hellboy films with that movie. And they've continued it with this. It's like the Hellboy cinematic franchise has just become this punching bag for anybody who's ever heard of Hellboy. And I really want to see that stop. Now, I haven't seen this yet. I've watched a handful of reviews here on YouTube. Some that honestly were very, very good, despite the fact that I haven't seen this movie yet. So here's the reasons why I'm excited to watch this. Now, like with most other people, especially Hellboy fans, I was obviously skeptical when this was announced. I was skeptical when it came out. I have not seen it yet. It skipped to the theater, went straight to, on demand, which is, I mean, that's not a great sign, but for a movie like this, that's kind of okay because honestly, if you're a Hellboy fan, we are lucky just the fact that this was made. Because when you think about it, after the disaster that was the last Hellboy film, I, along with most fans, probably thought we are never getting another Hellboy film. It's just not going to happen. But we did, and this was heavily backed by the creator of Hellboy himself, Mike Mignola. So what I'm excited about is I like the fact that this was based off of an actual Hellboy story arc. Now, the previous Hellboy films, they weren't. As cool as some of them are, or really all of them in my opinion, as cool as they are not based on, story arcs from the comics. Now, the first two, I can't remember that last one. I think, yeah, okay, all the previous three Hellboy movies, they all have like bits of Hellboy lore and story arcs, kind of built into them. But this one right here, I mean, this is based right out of a Hellboy story arc, The Crooked Man. I mean, The Crooked Man is what the comic series was called, and I thought that was awesome. Mike Mignola himself seems to fully back this movie. It seems to me, and I could be wrong, but it seemed like he had more of a hand in this than he did in the previous films. And this is what I've heard so far. I have heard that. So first of all, we've got a new guy playing Hellboy himself. Obviously the first two we had Ron Perlman. The last one we had David Harbour, which I think he did a pretty good job. I think David Harbour I love the guy first of all, but I think he's a pretty good Hellboy. I thought he was believable. So this guy, his name is Jack Kesey. I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with this actor at all. But I have heard that he plays Hellboy much more like the comic character than even Ron Perlman did. And I think that's cool. And from what I have heard so far, some people think he's the best Hellboy, or at least the most comic accurate. Obviously, no one can match Ron Perlman in matters of charisma and stuff like that. And Ron Perlman, he loves the Hellboy character, and I fully respect him for that. But let's be honest, if you're a longtime Hellboy fan of the comic, Ron Perlman kind of played Hellboy as Ron Perlman would do it. But it wasn't super comic accurate. Let's be honest. So, anyways, diatribe aside, I'm super excited for this, man. Maybe you think it sucks. I don't know, and I don't really fully care. I am just excited. I think I'm gonna watch it tonight. So, the other 2024 release that I have, the only other, is you should expect this from me. If you don't. If you don't expect this from me, then man, I'm doing something wildly wrong. So, Terrifier 3. I love how the cover of the movie is actually different than the slipcase. I'm a sucker for that. It doesn't happen enough. You pull it out and it looks like that. Very cool. I love Terrifier 3. I'm a huge fan of this franchise. I still want to rank the Terrifier films, do a ranking video as the kids say, but I have not. I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna do it. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm honestly having trouble putting them in order. But I'll probably do it within the next month or two. I loved it. It lived up to what I thought a third Terrifier movie should be. Reviewed it here on my channel. You can watch the review too if you want to hear more of my thoughts about it. But yeah, I'm a fan of Terrifier as a franchise. I'm a fan of Terrifier 3. Real happy to have that. And I'm also a huge fan of Mike Flanagan, and I have not seen this yet, even though I bought this probably goddamn near a month ago. Hush. 4K. I don't buy a whole lot of 4K so far, but opted for the 4K version. The Scream Factory, pretty nice package here. It comes with. I know a lot of people shit on Scream Factory, / Shout Factory these days. This is pretty nice. I think they should have included a booklet which they didn't, but it's got 4 discs, so I'm sure as far as like bonus features and stuff, there's a shitload to dive into here. Again, I'm a big Mike Flanagan fan. I think he's one of the best filmmakers out there right now, but I haven't seen this yet. This is like his 3rd film, I think. Can't exactly remember, something like that. This came out in, originally, God, it's been at least 10 years. I can't remember. 2016, I think. Yeah, 2016. I'll get around to watching it eventually, but I'm happy to own it, and I'm really, even more so, I'm happy that I got a physical release, because I should probably specify, Hush has not had a physical release up until just recently, a month ago or so. It was, it sat on Netflix for a while. I think it went, I don't know. I can't remember. I assume it played in theaters, but I really don't know. And then it was on Netflix for a couple of years, and then Netflix took it off, and it was inaccessible for a long time. So this coming on to a physical format of any type is awesome. And there are other movies that this problem needs to be addressed with, right? Plenty of movies that are just inaccessible at the moment. So next, I got a couple of Criterion releases. Gotta love Criterion, right? If you don't, there's something wrong with you. So first of all, I've always heard this movie was cool. I have never seen it. It's called Kira. This is a Japanese film directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. I don't know a whole lot about it, at least off the top of my head. I've read watched reviews over the years, and I've always just heard this was a really, really cool movie. And it's always intrigued me, even though I'm drawing a complete blank. But it doesn't matter. This came out originally in 1997. This is just one that it's been on my bucket list of things to watch for quite a while now. And you can only watch so many movies in, the amount of time we have on this fucking planet. I'll get to it eventually. And I also have, from the same year, coincidentally, 1997, I've got Harmony Korine's Gummo. I've only watched this movie one time, probably around 15 years ago or so. And I gotta say, it left an impression on me that has literally never went away. Almost like a scar on my face or something like that. Like, this movie is... I don't even know what to call it, to be honest. Is it a masterpiece in filmmaking? Honestly, it might be. This movie is disturbing to me, at least the way I felt after I got done watching this. Vividly, I remember almost the way I've only seen it once. I almost remember the way I felt after watching it more than the movie itself, because it was like 4 p.m. on a Saturday or something, and I literally I went to bed for the night. I was done. It sucked all of the energy out of me. I had nothing left to spare after that. It was so depressing and so fucked up, and it fucking drained me, man. So I'm kind of scared to watch it again, but I think I can handle it a little better this time around. Dude, I'm not even gonna go into what it's about or any of that shit. It's such a well-known film at this point that you've probably heard of it. You probably have seen it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, because it is it's I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. Also, I don't really know how I feel about this new cover. I obviously, the original cover looks like this, which I much prefer. This is pretty cool. I like how they kept the Gomo logo in the same fonts and everything, but I don't know. I prefer the original cover. I know Criterion usually likes to, reinterpret covers and, put out their own thing, and that's cool, but I don't like that as much. But anyways, check out Gummo if you haven't seen it. It's dark. It's dark. And then I've got a movie that I've never heard of, and I can't even pronounce, man. It's an American film, I think. Pretty sure it's American. It's this. We're getting into my Arrow stuff now, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Saw this in a local store, and I thought it looked interesting. It's got Peter Weller and Danny Houston. Houston. It's whatever. So I like Peter Weller, and I really like Danny Houston also. Okay, so this is called Ivan's XTC, or Ecstasy, but it's spelled Ivan's XTC. Original cover right there. Again, I've never seen this, and I've never even heard of this. So I bought this, I guess you could say, sight unseen. This originally came out in, let's see here, 1999. Yeah, stoked to watch it. From what I've heard, Danny Houston gives a really good performance. He's one of those actors that I think is kind of underutilized and underrated, so I'm really excited to see him give this good performance that I hear about. And then I've got another one that I haven't seen, but this comes from a franchise where I've seen a couple. So we're kind of talking about the Tomea series, Japanese films taken from a popular Japanese manga. And I've seen a few of these. There's got to be like 5 or 6 at least films in this franchise. So this one came out in '99. I've never seen this. I've seen some of the sequels. I'm one of those weirdos that will sometimes watch a sequel before the original, if it's something I'm not real familiar with. Original cover looks like that, and it's a cool storyline from what I remember, and from what I've seen, I should say. It's basically about Tomea. I believe she is, if I remember correctly, she's like a demon of sorts. And she torments young men. She causes them to fall in love with her. She actually makes them kill her because she can come back. And this is all intentional. And then she'll come back and kill them. And it's a pretty wild storyline. And I like what I've seen. I've heard this first one is by far the best. And I've seen some of the other ones and I liked them. So I figured the first one, I'll probably like that too. Then we've got another one that I've been meaning to see for a while, talking about The Addiction by Abel Ferrara. This came out back in 1995. Now, I've never seen this. I've only heard of it. I don't remember Christopher Walken being in it, but that's cool. Who doesn't like Christopher Walken? So, got the 4K here. Actually, I forgot that I bought the 4K. Let's see what we got on the inside. You got a nice booklet. Arrow often does a cool job with these booklets and stuff like that. Other companies need to take notice. And so on the inside, okay, I didn't actually know this. You got a black on the inside, so you can't see the reversible cover. There's the original right there, which I almost always prefer the original art to, newly commissioned art, but that's pretty cool. So this is I haven't seen it. It's a vampire story. From what I've heard, it's a very unique take on vampires, and definitely down for that. Last but not least, bought this, again, sight unseen. I had never even heard of this. It's called The Last Video Store. I'm a sucker for these like retro 80s movies, anything. I know a lot of you are probably like, yeah, we're fucking sick of it. But the whole like retro 80s horror type thing, I'm just a sucker for. When you got, pink or purple colors in the background, and I don't know, sucker for it. Don't know a whole lot about it. It just sounds cool. I guess that's the original cover. And this, funny thing about this is not a really old movie, or not old at all. This is actually from last year, 2023. So Arrow is already repressing it, which I think should speak volumes. Again, very cool booklet that comes with this, and you get a poster, which I definitely appreciate, and I will use, assuming I like the movie. I paid $30 for it, so hopefully I do. And it's reversible. Cool, right? And since I don't know a whole lot about it, I will just kind of, let's read a little bit off the back. in case you also haven't heard of this movie. So it's a love letter to video rental stores and the B-movie treasures that line their walls. Blah, 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 some other stuff. So the plot sounds like this. When her estranged father passes, 20-something Nyla is tasked with the thing that she hates the most, cleaning up his mess. Left behind are a collection of VHS tapes, and with them, the burden of returning them to Blaster Video, a time capsule to an era in which cover art and a catchy movie title were king. Run by Kevin, a human encyclopedia of VHS history and a friend of her father. I'll just stop there. But that sounds pretty cool to me. For, someone that has a shitload of nostalgia for video stores. That's kind of just why I bought it. The title, the cover, fucking sold, man. But we'll see if it's any good. Or at least if I think it's any good. But yeah, that's it, guys. That's 10 titles I had to show you. I got more stuff to show at another point, like some more bargain bin stuff that I bought over the last month or so. I'll do that when I do it. So, what you can expect next from me, the Nosferatu review. I've been working on it for a little bit. I hope to have that out in a couple of days. Saw that in the theater on Christmas Day, which was an experience. So. I hope you guys had a good holiday, and if you don't celebrate holidays, I hope you're just doing well in general, man. Fuck. Yeah, let's talk about these movies. If you have anything to say, leave me a comment. I hope you have a good day, huh? Cheers.